Greetings, YouTubians, and welcome back to Wayne's Sharp World, where today I'm going to be bringing you guys a bit of a different list. You know, in the past, I've brought you lists ranging from my favorite front flippers to knives with the best action to best EDCs under $100 and best EDCs over $100. But as I looked through my collection, I noticed a handful of knives that, for some reason unknown to me, I love these five, I carry these five, but they don't seem to make a lot of lists, if any lists. I don't think these have made any lists. And I didn't like that because my biggest goal as a reviewer, outside of giving you guys honest reviews, is, showing you pieces that I think you'll enjoy, that I think you'd like to add to your collection, that I think would interest you. Now, these aren't brand new knives. They're knives that they've all been around, but they don't get enough attention, and I think a lot of people would really enjoy them. So with that being said, I made a list of 5 amazing knives that never make any lists. And I want to share that with you guys today. And I also want to give a shout out to another YouTuber by the name of Sharpened Blade. I got this list, I was inspired to make this list from a video he made recently called 5 Knives that aren't used but stick around. So I was originally going to make that video, and then I realized I really didn't have 5 knives that I truly don't ever use. So I kind of got to thinking about it, and I came up with this list. But I still wanted to give him a shout out because he's come a long way as a YouTuber. His channel is honestly one of my favorite channels. I'm constantly busy trying to make content for you guys, so it's hard to keep up with all the other channels out there because there are a lot of great ones. But I've come to 3 that I really follow a lot. Obviously, Slicey Dicey and Nick Shabazz, because those 2 were kind of my inspiration to start my channel. But Sharpened Blade has really... he's just come a long way. He really has. From the time he started his channel to now, his content, how comfortable he is behind the camera or phone, whatever he records with. He's done a really good job lately, and he's just a really good guy in general. I think everyone should go check out his channel. I really don't think his subscriber count reflects how good of a reviewer he is. So go give him a sub, check out his channel. I don't think you'll be disappointed. That's Sharpened Blade. You can also find him on Instagram as well. Now, with all that being said, let's get into this list. There's really no restrictions. No size, no price, no nothing. Just simply 5 knives that for some reason you don't see a lot on this channel, but you're about to see today. So with that being said, let's get right into number 5, and that starts with the Kizer Sheepdog. Now, particularly this Sheepdog. I do like the Kizer Sheepdog in general. This one, though, is definitely my favorite, and I love the Mini. I really do love the Mini, but this micarta and the way I believe this is a Blade HQ exclusive, if I'm not mistaken, but this is the regular mid-size version with, this happens to have black micarta, but there was other kinds of other colors. There was tan and green micarta as well, but this is the slimmest Sheepdog, or it's probably as slim as the Mini, but the original titanium versions were, I would say, substantially thicker because it was contoured, so you had a lot more. You definitely felt it more in your pocket. Now, this one still has the width of a regular Sheepdog, which I think is one thing that kind of turns some people off because it's a wider object in your pocket, even when the knife's closed. But there's so much to love about this knife because, like I said, it is thinner. It's a little lighter. You still got a good amount of weight in the blade here, but I'm 100% okay with that because, in my opinion, this is definitely the coolest cleaver out there available on the market. There's a lot of cleavers. I think the cleaver craze is kind of peaked, but this is one that won't be going anywhere. It's going to stick around because it really is. It's somewhat simple, but it just has really nice lines and a pretty nice thin blade and a wide blade. It's a very, very powerful cutter, and just very, very nice. Especially, like I said, this micarta version, there is something about the detent with this one particular. I don't know if I just got a good one or what, but yeah, it has a strong detent, which you need that strong detent with this knife because of the heavy blade. If it had a weak detent, you'd constantly have, halfway failed openings, but this one is very, very hard. I'm going to try and deploy it as light as I can to try and fail it. I think this one's impossible. There's very, very few knives that I've found to where it's Yeah, you can. I don't think you can fail a flip on this. So the detent is just dialed in. Love that black micarta. It has a fantastic texture to it. Feels like micarta. The BD1N steel is pretty good for the $89, $99 price tag. It's really good. So no issues there. I would like to do something. I might have to stone wash or do something to dull this clip down, because that's the only thing I don't really like about this knife is the really bright clip. I think I'll probably give it a little stone wash or something like the blade. Then it'll be good to go. I also have these knives in order of price, so there's not really favorites here. Like I said, I love all 5 of these knives. We're just going in order of price. This one is $89, and this is the Kizer Sheepdog in micarta. Don't quote me, but I believe it is a Blade HQ exclusive. So there's that one. Now, next up, number 4, we have another Kizer, and I promise this is the last Kizer. I didn't mean to have 2, but it's where we are. This is the Kizer Critical. Now, this is a much older one, and this is actually the first Kizer I ever purchased. And I think it was a pretty good decision, if I do say so myself. This is a heavier knife. Definitely a heavier knife. It's a big knife. I think it's like a 3.75 or maybe even 4-inch blade. I think 3.75, whatever. It's a big blade. It's a big blade. It's a thick blade, so it's got some weight, as well as the titanium. It has some weight behind it. But I just really love the design, except for this pivot. I mean, I've got to get got to call this out. One of the best things, if not the best thing, Kizer has ever done for the sake of good business and making more money is getting rid of this thing, because this is just hideous, especially a knife that has so much else going on for it. It's got that big brute look. It's got the speed hold, it's got the Warncliffe, got the thick stock, and then it's got this cute little swirly thing in the middle. I don't know why they did that, but I'm still not going to let it affect my overall opinion of how much I really, really like this knife. It has fantastic action, has a heavier blade that falls shut pretty easy, pretty good detent, a detent that's strong enough to help you kick out that big blade, as we just mentioned how important that is. And these guys are actually on sale right now at Blade HQ for $149, at least at the time I'm making this video. Now I plan on releasing this video within the next 3-4 days of making it, so it should still be on sale. Go check that out at Blade HQ. This is the Kizer Critical. And another thing to note, that there's a mini Critical coming that I think I'm going to like more. I'm not sure if I like the 2 colorway options they came out with for it, but it's going to be like, I think it was $69.99. It was a much more affordable price. 3-inch blade, thumb studs. The one I liked had a green G10 with a bit of a bronze or gold pivot collar. Looked really, really nice. Really looking forward to getting that one. You guys can almost... yeah, I guarantee you're going to see that one on the channel. I'm really looking forward to that. This is the Kizer Critical. If you want a bigger, heavier knife with S35 VN steel, go check that out at Blade HQ for $149 right now. These are getting a little harder to find because they've been out for a while, but definitely one that I think is worth checking out. Very nice one. Now, that's it for Kizer. We're moving on, and we're moving on to number 3, and this one really shocked me. This is the botched flip. This, oh my God, okay, there we go. This is the Giant Mouse Ace Grand, and that's probably if I had one issue with this knife, it would probably be this hole, this cutout here. Again, under the camera, there we go. 90% of the time I can nail this, but there is something about this that makes it a little trickier for me, but I'm not going to take that away from everything else that I really like about this knife, from the micarta to the amazing Vox jimping that goes up that is notorious on Giant Mouse knives. They always put them a little higher up on the spine, to this wicked, what we'll call this, a kind of a clip point, but it kind of has a little bit of a harpoonish look to it as well. Elmax steel. I love the way Giant Mouse pairs wire clips with micarta. I think it looks fantastic. I also usually like their backspacers. They find a unique place to put the lanyard hole. I don't usually like, and I still don't think I like this one with the lanyard hole being below the point that the knife sits in your pocket. I've never been too sure about that, But Giant Mouse just has a rather unique design to him, and it really speaks well on behalf of the designers, Jesper Voxness and Jens Anso. They definitely put a lot of their own, all of their own style into these knives, and it reflects that. I really like that about it. And this one especially, it's bigger than a lot of the other ones they've come out with. I think you got a 3.375-inch blade, if I remember right. Usually their knives are a little on the shorter side. So I'm just a huge fan of this knife overall. And looking back at it, I don't know why I didn't include this on my favorite 15 EDCs over $100. It was so close. This knife is definitely in my top 20, but it really is. And once I get comfortable doing it too, don't want you guys to worry about the action. The action's fantastic. Some knives I just got to get accustomed to flipping under the camera because it can be tough. But the action on this guy is very solid, and the micarta is just really good. Just a fantastic design in general that doesn't hog up too much pocket space. I mean, it is a bigger knife, but still, just an overall really good piece. And one that I think any Giant Mouse or Jesper Voxness fan would appreciate. That's the Giant Mouse Ace Grand. Oh, and that's coming in at $185. $185 for the Giant Mouse Ace Grand. And next up at number 2, we have an automatic. That is the Protec TR3. This is specifically the Operator series, which I think is really awesome. But this knife in general is just gorgeous. It's got to be my favorite Protec auto. It's just a beautiful balance of blade to handle ratio with a simple but really elegant blade. And it's a perfect shape. It's right around the 3.35 inch mark, which just makes it really good in my book. I know it makes it harder to legally carry in some states, but I really do love a blade that's in that 3.3 to 3.5 range. And I'm still trying to figure out why exactly I like these fish scales on this, because I have absolutely, for the life of me, I just can't figure out why I like them. I think it just has to do with the fact that it's all black. I think all black and maybe the tritium highlight makes it kind of cool. I really don't know. Under normal circumstances, I would think these fish scales look cheesy and just not good. But I am just totally okay with this one, and I don't know why. I'm probably never going to have a reason why, but I just really love this knife, and it kicks so good. Not enough to where I worry about it coming out of my hand, but enough to where you feel power. And I think a lot of that has to do, I think the biggest reason I don't worry about it coming out of my hand is the balance and the button placement and how well you can secure your fingers on the clip here. And it's great. And really, I can even, without holding the clip, I can still deploy this pretty easily and not worry about dropping it. I think it just goes to speak to how well the knife is balanced and how good it feels and fits in your hand. But as you guys all know, Protec is made in the USA, and they just execute everything to... I don't want to say it, but as close to perfect as you can get, because they really are nitpickers when it comes to quality, and that's something I look for in any brand, whether in the USA or China or Italy, wherever they are. If they don't have a good attention to quality and detail, I'm probably not going to be a big fan of them, but Protec absolutely is, and that's why I'm a huge fan of them. So if you want to add a Protec to your collection, this TR3, whether it's the Operator series or not, it doesn't have to be the Operator series. I see other versions of this knife that I love just as much, if not maybe a little more. They're just hard to get because they do sell pretty quick. But I'm really happy with this Operator version. I'll probably hold on to it for a while unless they come out with a really cool, crazy version that I just can't pass up. But I did message them. I would love to see this in a button lock flipper. There's design issues in making that happen, but man, this would be amazing as the next button lock flipper. The follow up to the Malibu. God, that'd be amazing. And but there you go. This is kind of hard to find. It's coming back to retailers. When it's available, it's going to be in the $239-ish range. Some places mark them up a little more. You may see them at $250, but I think the $239 is the lowest I found it at. That's what this guy was. So there you go on the price, and there you go with an amazing Protec offering. Now, next up, we've got our last one, and we're going to go back to the glory days of ZT, and this here is the ZT0850CF. Now, this knife is not available anymore, unfortunately, but it's still readily available on the secondhand market. You can find it on places like Reddit and whatnot, but I'm really holding on to hope that since ZT is really struggling to come out with really attractive knives, I've seen their new release for this year. I'm still not a big fan of most of them. There's one that I think might be cool, but they're still struggling in my humble opinion. You guys may disagree. Let me know if you disagree in the comments, but I'm not too excited about this year's releases, but this one always had me. Love this sheep's foot blade. Love everything about it. This knife is on washers, and it's so smooth. It's light in the pocket. Action is very good. Beautiful aesthetics from both sides. You got the sub frame lock with attached to the carbon fibers. It's just a very sleek, tactical, unique looking knife, and I think this is definitely ZT from their strongest point or strongest time in the community when they were coming out with the 0850 and the 0640, and they were collabing with guys like Rexford and Sinkovich, like this model is right here. Just definitely, I want to see more of that from ZT, but since I'm not seeing that right now, I hold on to this one especially because it's definitely one of my favorite ZTs. Hopefully someday we'll see him coming back with models like this that I think most people enjoy. When this guy was available, I think we were talking $239. It might have been $269 when it first came out. I got this one when it was discontinued for $239, and so happy I did, especially this blacked out version. The other version was blue and gray, which was pretty cool, but I definitely prefer this blacked out version to calm down the backspacer, which is nice, but on the original version it popped a little too much for me. You can also Spidey flick this pretty darn good, and again, we're talking washers, so that's impressive. But yeah, just a really, really good one. What do you guys think? What are your thoughts on ZT? Let me know. I'd be really interested to hear everyone else's thoughts, because I'm really not excited about this year's offerings either, and I thought I would be. But regardless, this is the ZT0850, and that's the list. So what do you guys think here? I'm going to bring these all out one more time, because they still got to get their time in the Wayne Sharp World Sun. Yeah, that was a really stupid thing to say. Kind of just forget I said that. But there they are. Not even in order, because I'm just kind of hustling them in here. There you go. There's my 5. What other knives don't I showcase on this channel enough? Let me know. Let me know. Maybe I'll try doing it. If I may just think, you know, what the heck? Why are these not on here? Good call, you guys. You guys usually give me the best ideas. So let me know what you think about these 5. What other knives do you not see enough on this channel? I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And until the next one, I'm out.